Hi guys, it is day 6 in our unit 5 and it's a practice day. So when it says mean proportional mixed practice, it's got a little bit of everything from the last 2 days. My goal, I'm going to do some with you. Everything that's left actually becomes homework. So when it says practice here, we're really talking kind of notes / homework. All right, we're going to do number 1 and 2 together. So right now you can circle those as ones that we are doing together, right? Everything that's not circled will become homework. All right. Very first two, we've got right triangle. This is the altitude. I know it because that's my perpendicular line right there. Oops, that video is a little blurry. All right. So when we're looking at it in this case, the altitude is the mean proportional between the parts of the hypotenuse. Or we can talk about the little like walk the dog. So start in the corner. We go over 6 and up x. And then we hit a dead end. We come back x and over 10. And then cross multiply to solve. So x squared is going to equal 60. Take the square root, and we need to simplify. Biggest perfect square that goes in here is 4, and then times 15. So our answer should be 2 radical 15 here. That is our answer in simplest radical form. All right. For number 2, in this case, this is the leg. The altitude is not labeled here. And so I'm going to use this little triangle. And in this triangle, this would be the leg to the hypotenuse. So leg to the hypotenuse. And then use the big triangle. X would be the leg. The hypotenuse is this full length here. So 25. So if it helps, circle it. 4 is to x. And then as x is to 25. All right, then we can solve. So x squared will equal 100. You don't even need a calculator. Square root comes out nice and pretty at 10. All right. Numbers 3 and 4, those are part of your homework. If it helps, write homework next to them. I don't know what to tell you. Or maybe you can circle them in a different color. Otherwise, we're going to keep on moving. So on to page 19. On page 19, we are only going to do one question together, and that is number 6. So that means number 5 is homework, number 7 is homework, and number 8 is homework. So number 6 here, again, we have a leg and not the altitude labeled. So we're going to look at this triangle, and in this little triangle, x is the leg, 48 is the hypotenuse. So leg to hypotenuse. And then look at the bigger triangle. In the bigger triangle, 48, or the radical 48, is the leg. And then the hypotenuse is this whole length here, which would be x plus 2. So it's this to this, that same guy to the whole thing. All right. I picked this one on purpose because when we cross multiply, a couple things are happening. We are going to get a quadratic here of x squared plus 2x. And then radical 48 times radical 48 is really radical 48 squared, or just 48 all by itself. So move it on over so that we can get this equal to 0 and then factor. So when we factor, we're looking for two numbers that add to 2, multiply to negative 48. If you're not comfortable with doing that in your head, grab your calculator, type in 48 over x. Otherwise, plus 8 minus 6, and then we're setting each factor equal to 0. So I get negative 8. Set that factor equal to 0, I get positive 6. We ditch the negative since x represents the length of a side here, and x equals 6 would be our answer. Everything else on that page is homework, which means you'll be working on it in class. All right, on to page 20. On page 20, numbers 9, 10, and 11 are all homework. So 9, 10, and 11. And then number 12, we're going to do right here. So we have one more of the same type of question, but this one in particular is a little tricky, so I wanted to look at it. So again, you don't have the altitude, you have the leg. So you're going to be working with leg over hypotenuse. So in this triangle over here, x is the leg, 3 radical 6 is the hypotenuse. And then in the bigger triangle, 3 radical 6 would be the leg, and the hypotenuse is that whole length, which is x plus 3. All right, so it sort of starts off similar to what that last one looked like. So when I go to cross multiply, I'm going to get x times x plus 3, and then equals 3 radical 6 times 3 radical 6. Now you can write it as 3 radical 6 squared, but sometimes it's nice to see it like this because when you multiply it, 3 times 3, that'll give me 9. Radical 6 times radical 6 gives me radical 36. Square root of that is plain old 6. And then 9 times 6 is 54. If you're going to use your calculator to do one like that, please make sure that you would need to put the quantity in parentheses if you were to square it like that. So if I type it like 3 radical 6 and then times 3 radical 6, it should come out just fine. If I'm going to do it the other way, then I need parentheses around it. Otherwise, if I don't have the parentheses around it, what the calculator does is it only squares the 6 and I get a different answer. So just a couple ways you can do it. Pick one that's going to work out okay. Otherwise, distribute the x, so we get x squared plus 3x, and I can bring that on down here. And then keep on moving. Bring it on over so that we can get this equal to 0. And then we're looking to factor. So 54. Common factors here are 9 and 6. But if you didn't think of it, then into your calculator, 54 over x, and you look at the table. That would be my suggestion there. So minus 6 and plus 9 will do it. And then this, when we solve, will flip to give me positive 6. That'll flip to give me negative 9, which we're going to drop as an answer, and we'll keep that positive 6 there. All right, the other 3 are homework. Let's keep moving. On page 21, all of these are yours to do. So the whole page is homework, all right? All of it is homework. Keep on moving. Page 22. I wanted to take a look at number 19 together. So 19, they give you the diagram and then just the labels over here. So let's label the picture with it. So we have AD equals x minus 3. DB is x plus 3. CD is x minus 1. So the altitude is labeled, which means instead of leg over hypotenuse, we're going to be doing the part is to the altitude as the altitude is to the other part of the hypotenuse. All right. So that means x minus 3 is to x minus 1 as x minus 1 is to x plus 3. All right. I picked this one on purpose because there's a lot of multiplying going on here. I'm going to do off to the side here a little bit of the work. So if I go x minus 1 and then times x minus 1, this will give me x squared minus 1x plus 1. As for the second cross product, it's x minus 3 times x plus 3. This would give me x squared minus 3x plus 3x and minus 9. So let's bring all that down into the equation here. So the first cross product, x squared, that'll give me a total of minus 2x plus 1. And then the other one, x squared, and then minus 3x and plus 3x. Those are going to cancel. We get minus 9. To keep solving, what started off a little crazy looking actually simplifies pretty nicely, because normally we would say, let's move everything to one side, but then those x squareds cancel right out. And so you actually just end up with a linear equation, meaning just a single x. So now I can get that x alone. So subtract the 1 over to get negative 10, and then divide everything by negative 2. We get x equals 5. But it's asking you specifically to find the length of CD. So you don't want to do all that work and then not answer the question. So CD is x minus 1, so then 5 minus 1. Final answer there should be CD equals 4. All right, on the last page that counts as this set of notes, we have 2 that we're going to do together. So flip on over to page 23. We're going to do number 20 and 21 together. So if you want to right now, you can mark that 22 is homework or whatever markings you prefer. All right, with number 20, this one, it looks a little wordy, but you have the diagram to help you. So it's saying to estimate the height of a radio tower, Jody steps 25 feet from the center of the tower's base. So there's that 25 until her line of sight to the top of the tower and to the center to center of its base, There we go. There's the base. Form a right angle. All right. Her eyes are 6 feet above the ground, hence the 6 feet right there. How tall is the radio tower to the nearest foot? So we're looking for that whole length and our final answer here. But based on what you're being given, since I have a right triangle, that 25 is the altitude. So to set this up to be able to use the altitude rule, I would actually, instead of calling this my x, I'm going to call just this part x from here to here. And then we have to remember that in the end, we'll have to add those together. So based on that, our little kind of walk the dog would be to go up 6 and over 25. And then equals down 25 and keep on going, x. All right, let's calculate that. Cross multiply, we get 6x. 25 times 25, I believe is 625. I'm trying to double check over here. Yep, 625. And then divide by 6. All right, so that comes out as 104.16, and it keeps on going. So when it says, how tall is the radio tower to the nearest foot? Well, this part of it is 104 and change. And so then total, we would add 6 to that. So if we add 6, we're looking at the height as being 110.16, and it keeps going. So to the nearest foot, 110 feet. All right, that is number 20. 21 is the last one that we'll do together before we get to class. So 21 asks to find the mean proportional for the numbers 3 and 12. I just wanted to make sure that you remembered a question like this. So mean proportional without a diagram just simply means that if I take 3 and 12, what is the value that will balance that proportion? So 3 is to x as x is to 12. So if we cross multiply, we're going to get x squared. That'll give us 36. And then take the square root. This one technically has 2 answers. So it's positive 6 and it's negative 6. We only ditch the negative when it's a diagram and we can't have a side length be a negative. Otherwise, keep the negative in the answer. All right. If you want to independently keep working on this on your own to get a little bit done ahead of time, keep moving. Otherwise, next time I see you in class, we will be working on this together. Thanks for watching, guys.